Great, and welcome to another episode of our chat show. Today we are honored to have the coach of Bryanston High with us, Wian van Wyk. Good morning, Wian.
Good morning, guys. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm looking forward to this.
Awesome. Now it's really a privilege for us and an honor to have you here. Let me first start off with a question. Can you briefly tell us a bit about the history of Bryanston's rugby in Bryanston High? How long has rugby briefly been played, and a bit of the highlights maybe in the past of Bryanston High's first team?
Yeah, look, Bryanston High, I think we would be celebrating 58 years this year.
Okay.
So fairly a young school in big school terms. We've experienced a lot of success with our first team over the years. I think in the early 2000s. After that, we took a bit of a dip, but slowly but surely over the last couple of years, we've been building up gradually, slowly but surely. Unfortunately, our feeder schools, our primary schools, aren't that much into rugby, but we do get kids. We recently opened our doors to a youth rugby club on our premises. Brilliant. And that's been benefiting from that a bit. And then two of our primary schools, feeder schools, are playing competitive rugby now. So slowly but surely we're getting there. Right. In the past, we have had some representation on provincial level.
Oh, wow.
Academy players, yeah. One of our current coaches played when he was in matric, played academy. So we've got some history, some good players. We've had some successful tours in the past. We had a good tour this year as well at Sport 20. So we're moving. We're moving.
Louis.
Right. So we were there a couple of weeks ago, myself and Steve, when you guys played against Bastion. And
yes.
An absolutely fantastic day. We were able to have an interview with the captain of the first team.
Yeah.
What a phenomenal boy. And yes. It was great to see that the smaller schools are competing against each other. And just the way you guys played, especially in the first half, was really fantastic. And this really got us going and made us very happy to see that these guys want to play. Although the line said otherwise, but I want to say something that in the last 20 minutes or so, you guys scored 2 tries, and that never die attitude was wonderful to see. So how do you get these guys to, even at halftime, and you see the scoreline is like 35 to them, how do you motivate them to say, right, we still have 5 minutes, let's push through?
One of the toughest things, in my opinion, one of the toughest things for me to coach, and I do believe it's actually uncoachable, is heart. You either have it or you don't.
Right.
And,
Absolutely.
We are extremely blessed this year. We've got a young team. It's not an excuse. We've got a young team, but these guys just have a never say die attitude. Even pre-season last year, we could see that some of these guys just do not quit.
Brilliant.
So it was a good day in that sense. We've got some senior guys and even some junior guys putting their hands up in leadership roles. Right. And it's just how they kept fighting. They just kept each other motivated. On tour, we had a few sessions off the field, some behind the closed door sessions with the guys where we could sit and strategize. We could just put out our goal for the year, our goal for the season, short term, long term, maybe even thinking about 2027. But it was a nice platform for us to see who's going to put their hands up and who's going to lead through example. Yes. And Mateo is definitely one of them. We've got another youngster, grade 11, who plays 8-man for us. They just put their hand up.
Brilliant.
They don't want to quit. So for me, it's just a reminder at halftime to say, look, you guys made us a promise. Maybe play some mind games, you know, and so just remind him that you actually said this. I'm just reminding you of what you said.
Yes.
But yeah, it was a beautiful second half. I think for us smaller schools, you know, there's a certain what do you call it? Expectation when it comes to these names.
Yes.
These school names.
Yes.
It's the first time we've ever played Bastion.
Okay.
We've entered a new league, and I think it's a bit of a level up from where we were last year. So the guys had some little bit of fear, but after the first half, they could see like, yo, we're in this. We're matching these guys heat for heat. We're matching them phases, plays, scrums, alles. We can match them. And it was just to remind them, like, look, these are also just human beings.
Absolutely.
So let's go. Let's play. Let's go.
Right.
Absolutely.
Steve?
Earlier in the interview, you said that the rugby took a bit of a dip. What would you say is maybe the biggest threat for your rugby program at Bryanston? Is it maybe a different sport, soccer, maybe a soccer culture, or what would you say is the biggest threat?
Well, look, I don't think this is going to be a popular opinion, but I think it's definitely bigger schools.
Okay.
It's bigger schools that's the biggest threat.
Yeah.
You know, we unfortunately it is a reality where these bigger schools that offer different, I'm not going to say better opportunities, I'm going to say different opportunities.
Right.
And they get the kids. They do get them.
Yeah.
We've lost a couple of players over the years, and that then causes the results not to be fantastic, and that then has a ripple effect.
Yeah.
And the kids don't come here because they look at the results, but the results is because of this, and it's just but yeah, I think the biggest threat for small schools is big schools.
Right.
Absolutely.
And from a coaching perspective, all the coaches we interview, I always ask this: where are you during the match? Are you next to the field, behind the post, or are you sitting in the pavilion?
Yeah, I think it depends on the match. You know, I'm all over. Sometimes I'm even behind the bench, looking in a different direction. Yeah, no, man. I'm next to the side. I like to be amongst the guys on the bench. Luckily, we've got a good system where we can relay messages and speak to the guys on the field.
Right.
Sometimes you find yourselves behind the sticks, you know, when the opponents visit there often, you find yourself there just to keep that morale up.
Right.
But other times when the going is good, I'm on the side.
Okay.
Talking to the bench, having some water. But so that's the two places that we roam.
Okay. Steve?
Yeah, as Louis mentioned, we had an interview with your captain right at the start of the day. And what impressed me about the gentleman was the belief he had for his players. Because Louis asked him a question if he believes that there's players that could be future Premier League players, or maybe even bigger owners. And he, without hesitation, named a couple of guys that he values in the team. So basically, my question is: will you say that Bryanston's first team are at the stage where they are playing for each other, or would you like that maybe to intensify even more?
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely a brotherhood.
Okay.
I think we cemented on tour.
Yes.
There's a lot of like team building stuff that we do. Like I said, the sessions that we have, and also we've got a tradition here where we have a sleepover.
Okay.
Before our first home game, where the grade 8s, the under 14s, and the first team sleep over at school. They do a jersey handover. Okay. Some of the first team players have earned their caps or get their caps. So it's quite a thing where we try and build this culture.
Yeah.
Where the Oaks really believe in each other.
Yes.
Where the Oaks really see that, I've been privileged in my life to be coached by some cool guys, and they've always taught me, like, if you can suffer together, you can have good times together.
Absolutely.
And that's what unites a group. Maybe it's an old school mentality, but it really works. If the guys can work hard together,
Yes.
they can enjoy the good times together, and they can see each
Absolutely.
other's true colors.
Absolutely.
And
Right, Louis.
from a coaching perspective, you are currently in charge
Yeah.
of the first team. Would you like to eventually go over into maybe Craven Week or even higher at a later stage?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's every coach's ambition.
Right.
Well, I
Yeah.
assume so. Yeah, it's definitely my ambition. I'm currently head of sport at Bryanston High School,
Right.
and
Brilliant.
head coach of the first team.
Yes.
So for me, yeah, I would love to get into those roles, even at varsity level. I would love to coach.
Right.
I have coached some senior club rugby in the past,
Mhm.
and
Okay.
so I would really like to get back into that as well. But it's nice, not say grassroots, but it's nice when it comes from nothing,
Yes.
Yeah.
from no skills, some skills. I
Yes.
think
Absolutely.
there's a big reward there as well,
Oh,
to
yes.
see that penny drop for the first time when you say, like, let's do a skip one run around.
Yeah.
Um, some schools, some players, some clubs, it's a basic, it's just meat and potatoes. Where for other
Yeah.
kids, it's like this world opening, that you've got all these moves and all these variations, and that's also nice.
Right. Steve?
If there's a message you would like to give to future parents why they should enroll their children into Bryanston High, especially with the rugby program, what kind of message would you love to give the future parents to motivate them to enroll their children at Bryanston High?
So I think this is also a nice opportunity to brag a bit. We were voted best of Joburg last year.
Oh, wow.
Brilliant.
Best co-ed public school. So yeah, we do look at contributing members of society, and I
Yeah.
think that's the big goal. And not to sound like a cliche, and some of the other coaches, but we like to have whole players, all round,
Yes.
Yes.
good people, man, good boys, good young
Yes.
men. So
Yes.
if that's what parents want, then this is definitely the place.
Mm.
I'm sure
Brilliant.
you saw with Mateo and Mabena, who you interviewed, their
Yeah.
manners,
Absolutely.
respectful young boys,
Yes.
Oh,
um,
yes.
Yes.
Oh,
and
yes.
that's also something that we try and achieve here. Good
Brilliant.
rugby players, good kids, good young men, all round boys.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
No, that's good. And also, um, I know, and I'm a English teacher by profession as well. So, and I've seen even when we were at school and even now that I still have this belief that a teacher can make or break a student, right?
Yeah.
So, from your perspective as well, being in the classroom and then coaching these guys after class. Yes, when they don't do their homework or they get up to their shenanigans in class, yes, you need to be strict and say, all right, cut it out. We need to get on with the class. But how is that different on the sports field? Do you let that slide a little bit, or are you still very like, okay, 1, 2, 3, ABC. Okay, you didn't do this. Okay, you out this. How do you balance that?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. I'm not in the class anymore. So
Okay.
Okay.
yes, well, I don't know if it's lucky or unlucky, but yeah, I'm not in the class anymore. So the sport at Bryanston is a full-time job.
Okay.
But what I can tell you is so we've got a palisade that splits the school in half,
Okay.
sports
Yeah.
side and academic side,
Okay.
and they do cross. they do cross. So if you come with your nonsense from class to the sports field, it has an impact. We've got something like we call academic council, where we work with the kids who are struggling a little bit, and if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing in class,
Right.
it comes to the sports field.
Yes.
We don't bring it up. When I say it comes to the sports field, I mean we don't bring it up and talk about it and whatever, but we try and assist. So we know that if there's an academic commitments, we might give them off at the sport, and they have to up their game. So we can't have kids struggling academically and they're living their dream on the sports field.
Yeah.
We try and get a happy medium there, Goldilocks zone between the two. So yes, it does. What would you say? Cross pollinate. It cross pollinates. So we both use a factor on. Yeah.
Right. Steve?
You mentioned briefly about that you guys are in a higher league. Just explain to us the league that you guys are playing. Is it part of the North Wall, or is it still underneath the North Wall Cup?
Yeah, so it's called the Lions Group 2.
Okay.
Which who's in there? I'll have to look it up now. Let me try and think. It's Roosevelt, Queens, Florida, Bastion.
Brilliant.
Flip. Now the rest are gonna be so upset that I forgot.
No,
but I did forget. But yeah, it's a much tougher league than Krugersdorp. It's much tougher than what we used to play last year and the previous years. We played in the Pirates League.
Okay.
That's changed a bit. So now we're in the Lions Group 2, which is tougher, but it's also better for us, like you guys were mentioning, playing some of the bigger schools.
Yes.
Just the exposure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's cool. It's nice to also measure ourselves in a different league. Also, it puts emphasis on depth. It puts emphasis on participation, getting kids down to the field.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a good thing. It's definitely a good thing.
Right.
Brilliant.
And also, in your leadership group of your team, so obviously you have your captain, your vice captain, and you have a certain game plan. So it doesn't matter who the opponent is, but now let's say by halftime or even during the match, the game plan that you had, it's not working. Do you give the captain and the vice captain and the leadership group of the team the authority to be like, okay, wait, the game plan is not working. Let's try something different.
Yeah, so what I've tried is that we've always got a reset. Like we call a reset, that we go back to the most basic form of rugby.
Right.
We give them freedom, I'd say maybe after the fourth or fifth phase, and to say, okay, guys, now it's your turn. Let's see what you can do.
Right.
I'm a firm believer in you do your coaching during the week, and then it's the captain and the vice captain's game.
Okay.
If you believe in those kids enough to give them those roles, then you should believe in them on the Saturday or on the Wednesday.
Yes.
I think we do get involved if we see something that they don't see. We would shout instruction from the side, but we're definitely not coaching them from the side. They can do their thing. But yeah, there is a plan B and C where we say, okay, reset. This is very chaotic. It's a bit of a circus now.
Right.
Let's just reset.
Right.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Steve?
We have actually now that you.
Oh, sorry, Steve.
Yeah, I'm sorry. How many open, from a depth perspective, how many open teams does Bryanston have at the moment?
We have two sides.
Oh,
We have two sides.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay. All right.
So it's a total of about, I'd say, 50 players.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's like,
And
awesome.
just to elaborate on Steve's question, would you like to have more open teams?
Yeah, Flip. I think in a perfect world, yes. I think it would be nice, to have a lot more depth,
Yeah.
um, especially after a weekend that you guys going to come and watch us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes it's demoralizing for the kids
Yeah.
that take those scores, and to come back again on Tuesday or to
Yeah.
come back again on Monday.
Yes.
So some depth would be lacquer, very lacquer.
Yeah.
Just to see like, okay, cool. You're a little bit hurt this week. Take it easy. You can chill a bit, play
Yeah.
some PlayStation. We'll see you again on Thursday, and it would be nice.
Absolutely.
Right. Steve?
Yeah, I myself come from a small school. I played for in the Western Cape. I played for Laerskool Grylings first team, and then I went to Swanswyk and I played for the under 15. But my coach once, when I played for the A team on primary school level, he always said to us, at the end of the day, if you can come from off the field and you can lift your head and you've given it your all, then you're a winner. And that's something that I've always carried with me, in my time and my motivation forward. As a coach, where would you love to see Bryanston High in the next 5 years as a rugby team? What would you love to see? Where would you love to see them?
I would love to see all of our teams being competitive in the league.
Yeah,
I'd love us all to play playoffs. I'd like to see everybody in a semi.
yes,
I'd like to see us consistent. I don't want to have one phenomenal year and then the next year we're back to square one.
exactly.
I'd like to build up a nice pipeline, a beautiful pipeline where we can have under 14s, 15s, 16s slot into senior rugby effortless.
Yes.
Like to see some of our feeder schools and the junior club, like their players to come through, and just to have that consistency, that stability, where every year we can kind of see like it's going to be another good year.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's where I would like to see us in the next 5 years.
brilliant.
So we've been focusing a lot for 2026. I've put a big emphasis on junior development, not just in our rugby, but across all our sports. With our MICs, and our MICs are masters in charge. That's the teacher in charge of the sport,
Okay.
or the activity to develop, to be hands-on developing the juniors.
That's very good.
Instilling the
That's very good.
culture, the ethos, all of that stuff of that specific discipline. So that's where I would like to see us grow in the next 5 years.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Great.
That's wonderful. And besides the league that you guys are in now, which other schools would you really like to play in the future?
So Bastion in Florida is going to be our Afrikaans schools.
Right.
So I've always wanted to give the boys some exposure to some Afrikaans school rugby.
Yes.
Coming
Brilliant.
from an Afrikaans school myself,
Okay.
it's a little bit of it's a different rugby, different kind of rugby.
Yeah,
And it was nice for me to expose I think some more Afrikaans schools down the line,
Right.
brilliant.
because they're competitive through all age groups, and that's nice for the boys.
No, yeah, because we also come from we went to Randburg Hoërskool, so
Yeah,
we know.
Oh
Yeah, rugby
Yes.
is king, and luckily we were fortunate in our matric year to have 5 open teams, right? And out of that season, I remember the headmaster, when he saw there's 5 open teams, he quickly phoned all the boys' schools within Joburg and Pretoria and organized games for us. Although we only won 3 of those games, and all the other games we lost with huge margins. And I will never forget we played against Kes and we lost 47-0. And when the headmaster saw me and he's like, "So how was your match?" "No, 47-0." And he started to smile. And I said no to them. And he's like, "No, get out of my sight. I don't want to see you." But we had so much fun. And that was something very phenomenal. And I want, when we were at Bastion and Bryanston, and even though, yes, it's a very serious when you play for the first team. But what I saw as well, that the boys, even though they lost, but you could see they enjoyed themselves on the field. And that is something not many coaches can put through to the players onto the field. So that,
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's not always nice to lose, but like you guys mentioned earlier, if you left everything on the field and you don't have any regrets standing in that circle,
yes,
then
Yeah.
why not smile? Why not smile? I say to the kids, I say to them, we would have some stern words afterwards, and then I'd say, "Okay, Oaks, it's over. It's finished now.
Yeah.
It's finished. Let's all smile again. Let's have a jaw." I said what I wanted to say. You know yourself. You feel bad enough. You don't need me to now add to that. You know. So it's finished now. Let's smile. Once we get out of these 4 lines, it's back to normal life. Inside, it's war, it's life and death. Outside the 4 lines, let's carry on. Let's smile. Let's have an icy and a packet of chips. Let's carry on. Let's have a jaw.
Right. Steve, anything from your side?
No, from my side, I see we've run out of time now. I just want to say thank you so much for joining us, Wian. It's been amazing talking to you, engaging with your players. It was really, for me, that was a real highlight for me. And I wish your team and the school all of the best. And I also like to encourage the community of Bryanston to please rally behind the coach, Wian van Wyk, as well as the first team. So I want to thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. It's been a wonderful chat. And we want to come and attend more of Bryanston's games because I'm literally down the road from Bryanston High. So it's actually very easy for me.
Yeah, man, come on Thursday. We're playing another league game, the Group 2 league game on Thursday.
Right.
I'll send you an email with times. Watch.
Yes. And so what we will do, we will send you all the magazine links, all the other links to you via email, and then you can join from there if you want. Right.
Okay.
Thank
Perfect.
you.
Thanks, Louis. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have an awesome day, Fredo.
Have a cool day. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.